stop right there. Have you any idea where you are right now? You are at the edge of my territory. Take another step forward, and I will have the urge to attack you. And I will indulge that urge. I could sense you from miles away, yet you continued moving closer. Have you truly no idea of just how little you belong in this place? You're aware of that? Are you? Because if you were, you would have never even set foot in this forest. You would have run back home to your parents and your family. You would have walked away, telling them of all the sounds you heard, all the screams, all the hisses, the growls, of all the animals you thought you saw, all the ghosts you thought you saw wandering between the trees. That's what all of your kind does, except for those who are too stupid and too arrogant to turn back. Is that why you're here? Do you think that you can get through this place? That you can come out the other side with an interesting story? Is that why you're here? So that you can say you braved every creature in this forest? If that's why you're here, I ought to kill you right now, before you even enter my territory. I ought to kill you and hang your bones in the tree beside you as a warning to anyone else who thinks they can survive this place. You didn't mean to make any trouble? Well, that's just fine. You didn't mean to, but you did a pretty good job of it anyway. So tell me, are you going to leave? Or do I have to kill you before you finally understand that you don't belong here? You can't go back? What a shame. I guess I'll have to kill you then. Oh dear. The brave little human thinks that they can plead their way out of this. Where was all of that humility when you were deciding whether or not to enter this place? Where was all of that humility when you decided to disobey my orders and ignore all of my warnings? Where was that humility when... It's fear, is it? Fear and humility often go hand in hand, especially with pathetic little humans like you who think that they're untouchable. Oh, really? You don't think that? Well then, I guess you're not like other humans, are you? Let me guess. You just wanted to come here to explore, to try and make friends with the creatures living in this forest. You thought that perhaps you could gain safe passage. Is that the case? It isn't? Well then, what is it? Did you come here hoping to kill everything in this forest? You wouldn't be the first, but you'd be the first to not bring a weapon, and that in itself is the most arrogant thing I have ever seen from your kind. Of course you wouldn't be the first. In fact, I knew several of the humans who tried to conquer this place years ago. They took my family from me. We were sleeping. We were just sleeping. But they decided that a bunch of sleeping, snake people were a threat to them. So they slaughtered my parents, they slaughtered my sibling, and they would have killed me too. But I am not exactly what they were expecting to see. I wasn't the kind of creature they were expecting to fight. Do you see my tail? Do you see the black scales on it? Neither did they. They couldn't see anything, for they decided to attack in the dead of night, when they thought that so many of the creatures in this forest would be sleeping. Only a handful were, my family included, but that's beside the point. They couldn't see my scales, because my scales were too dark. And as I'm sure you know, humans have terrible night vision. Hence, you couldn't see the boundary marking my territory in this forest. Yes, I killed them. But what do you expect? They crossed the boundaries of our territory and slaughtered my family. Why wouldn't I kill them? Why didn't my family wake and kill them? Well, you see, my family didn't hear any screams before, but I heard theirs. Oh, I heard theirs. They still haunt me, all thanks to humans like you. Humans like you who come here to kill everything that is different from them, who come here to slaughter those who simply defend themselves. You think that you're so righteous that you deserve every piece of land that this earth has to offer. And if someone stands against you, even a creature as powerful as myself, you decide to kill them. Is that why you're here? Is that what you've come here for? If it is, I'll have no issue killing you like I did all the rest. But maybe I'll have a bit more fun with it this time. Maybe I'll do things a bit differently. After all, I was in a hurry last time. There were more of them, and they had weapons. So I crushed all of them with my tail, killed them in an instant. But you, I could sink my fangs into you, let my venom course through your veins, turn your flesh necrotic and watch you rot. Rot while you're still alive. It would be very painful for you, but very entertaining for me. So tell me, why shouldn't I do that? What makes you so different that you don't deserve to die? This forest is somehow safer than your home? And why is that? What makes your home so terribly unsafe that you would find shelter in a forest of monsters? It's under siege, and why is that? Because of people like you. Now what the hell is that supposed to mean? You expect me to put you down just so I can have an explanation? Very well. You haven't any weapons, and you're rather small compared to me. I could easily chase you and kill you if needed. Fine. Show me what you mean. Is that... That's real. That's real fire. Producing so much light and warmth. Oh, I see now. Let me guess. Your family, they weren't like you? Did they tell you to run into this forest? That no one would dare follow you, and that you'd be safe with that power of yours? I see. You aren't exactly the first person to have that idea, but you're the first of your kind. A girl came through here a few years ago. She could control the wind, bend it to her will, summon it whenever she pleased. But you command fire. Much different, but still similar in some regards. Still hunted by those who don't understand that being different isn't a crime. Tell me, can you do that whenever you want? You can. And can you always produce such warm, bright flames? You can? Then, I suppose, since this forest is rather dangerous and you'll be hunted if you leave it, you might need to stay here, won't you? You suppose I'm right? Tell me, do you really think that if you get to the other side of this forest, people won't realize what you are? They won't realize what you could do? They won't hunt you and try to kill you? Then I suggest you stay here. Yes, I mean it. Here, with me. How can you trust me? You see what I am, don't you? And you heard the threats I was giving you earlier? Oh, good. I was worried you'd missed them, or that they weren't obvious enough. You know what I could do to you, and you know that I was more than willing to do it. But you've given me a reason not to. As I asked before, you see what I am, don't you? I am a creature known as a Lamia, half human, half snake. Like a snake, however, I am cold-blooded, though I can sometimes produce my own heat as something that is half warm-blooded. I can't produce enough to keep myself from needing to hibernate every winter. But you would change all of that. You could produce a fire whenever I needed you to, couldn't you? As long as you have a spark, that's all it takes, is it? I am the most feared creature in all of this forest. I am, in particular, because of my venom. Even other creatures like me, they're similar but non-venomous. I could protect you from everything, every creature, and every human. I could hunt for you, bring you food, bring you materials to make clothing, anything you wanted or needed. All I ask is that you lend me your power whenever I ask. Make fires for me so that I don't die, or have to hibernate. That's all I ask. And in exchange, I'll make sure to keep you alive. Do we have a deal?